Hi, I'm Mike, owner of the In-Group in Phoenix, Arizona. Today I'm doing the new arrival video for September 9th, 2022. And although there's a decent amount of new arrivals, I think the best thing to talk about this week is actually the pre-orders. So, anytime they announce a new Beatle record, new per se, it's a big deal for record stores. They announced the Beatles Revolver Super Deluxe Edition. Remix, CD, there's a 5-6 different combinations. So let's go through them. So the Super Deluxe Edition, probably the one that I'm going to get, is everything. It's the outtakes, it's the new remix album, similar to what they did on Sgt. Pepper the White Album, Let It Be, and Abbey Road. They've gone back with technology. They're able to deconstruct the 4-track tapes and make a new mix out of it. The cool thing about this is, and it's not been confirmed yet, but my hunch is it's all analog, is they're including a bonus disc. From what I'm reading, the bonus disc wasn't done at half speed, and it says in the press release that it's from the original master tape. My thinking is, if you're going to do it, why not just use the metalwork from the 2014 box set? Or excuse me, the 2014 box set and single titles. So it, to me, seems like there's a strong possibility that the Super Deluxe might have the 2014 mono, which goes for $200 on its own. So if that is the case, it's going to be a happy day for a lot of people because that pretty much pays for it if you don't have it. But it comes with the outtakes, the book, the remix, there's an EP, I think, there's a ton of stuff in it. So you got a Super Deluxe Edition version, you've got just the new remix as a single disc, you've got an indie store exclusive, so something only available at record stores. It's a 1 LP with a tote bag. It's like a record carrying bag that has the cover printed on it. Then there's the CD digital version of it, so 5 CD box set. And there's a 2 CD box set, you know, the album, remix album with the bonus tracks. Eagles One Step, Mobile Fidelity on the Border, that should ship later on this week. I haven't received them yet, so I know some people have been asking about that. It's on its way to us now. I think it's scheduled to come in the next day or two. So we should have that shipping by this weekend. Also, there's a lot of other pre-releases, or excuse me, pre-orders. So Robert Glasper, they're doing a 10-year, no, just I think it's a 10-year anniversary edition of Black Radio. It's a 3-disc set. Comes out October 28th, like the Beatles. They're doing the second Mark Knopfler box. This is the studio box from 2009 to 2018. A lot of expensive records in that box set, so that'll be desirable. That's coming out October 10th. Ringo Starr, EP3, so he's doing another EP. Ringo must be very impatient. He's not putting enough tunes together for an album, so he's just releasing things as an EP. So yeah, that's a 10-inch EP coming out November 18th. This is an interesting title. Fantastic record. Classic Records did it back in the day, this is like an audiophile staple and has been for decades. John Lee Hooker is the Healer. This is being done by Kraft. It doesn't say if it's analog or not, but it's actually done by Bernie Grundman. That's coming out October 28th. Another pretty cool title. It's a Blue Note title, tribute to Leonard Cohen. The guest list, seems pretty good on this. Norah Jones, Iggy Pop, Peter Gabriel, Bill Frisell. There's a lot of other guest artists on it. So that might be something I put on my radar. Might be worth a listen. Okay. New for my top 100 imprint analog records you should own list is this Norah Jones Come Away With Me. I've been spending a lot of time with this record lately. I've got it in my sound room, demoing gear on it. All analog, cut by Ryan Smith. Very nice. Ryan Smith did the reel-to-reel for analog production, so the current reel-to-reel is the Ryan Smith mastering. But this sounds absolutely fantastic. It's all analog. It's, it's a budget type release. It's not, it's all analog, but it's not the big stout and cover, but this thing sounds great. It's a fantastic record. Big difference between this and the Analog Productions. The Analog Productions is cut really hot. A lot of people tell me there's some sibilance issues on their systems. I don't think you're going to get that with this. It's not cut as hot. It has a more smooth sound to it. Really good sounding, and it's in print, and the other one's not in print. So another analog record to show you. This is actually just a restock. I got a lot of restocks in here. Somehow this jumped its way to the front. This has been getting huge reviews. All analog, cut by Bernie Grundman. A lot of people are saying this is the best this record's ever sounded. I have not listened to it, so I do not know. Sparks, Little Beethoven, 180 gram black vinyl. The Kinks, this is actually a restock, 50th anniversary reissue. Remastered from the original master tapes. I don't know who did this, the reissue. Kevin Gray did a lot of Kinks remasters from the analog tape. I'm not sure if this is one of them. He did a lot of the mono stuff. But yeah, awesome, awesome record. Love the Kinks. That's my second favorite Kinks record. This thing sold out immediately about a year ago when I got it. Jerry Mulligan Night Lights. This is on Newland. This was mastered by Kevin Gray. And from what I heard, this is fantastic. I didn't even get enough of these. On the first go around, it sold out like instantaneously. I thought I would, have time to grab one off the shelf, take it out of the system. No, they sold out immediately, and they've been out of stock for a year. Pressed at Palace, done by Kevin Gray, but it says mastered from the original analog tape transfer. So this is probably some sort of DSD or digital transfer. But everybody that I sold it to last year, or maybe a year and a half ago, said it was great. Got some restocks and some new stuff mixed in here. Mazzy Star, Among My Swan. That's a restock, I believe. This is a new title. Mel Carter, When a Boy Falls in Love, 1964 debut album, originally released on Sam Cooke SAR Records. David Sullivan. Oh, not Sullivan. David Sylvian? Manafron is the name of this album. First time, 180 gram vinyl. Made in the Netherlands. All right, we've got Young Blood. Blood, B-L-U-D. Young Blood. Actually, Y-U-N-G-B-L-U-D. I'm guessing he goes by Young Blood. We've got the limited edition pink vinyl with an exclusive poster and a signed insert. Oh, this is autographed. That's cool. Man, this is about time. Now, I have no idea who this guy is, what he sings. Doesn't really look like it'd be my shtick. But it's cool in the sense that they finally are doing signed albums and not just CDs. Even if it's a CD signed, like, size posted, like that little tiny crummy book that comes in a CD jewel box, even if they threw that in there, I think that would be cool. Megadeth, The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead with that nice lenticular cover. All right. Okay, so this one's going to need some explaining. Ozzy Osbourne's new album. Now, this is the standard vinyl version, right? Standard vinyl version. Just comes out this week. I'm looking forward to this album just because of who's on it. I love Ozzy Osbourne. Obviously, a huge Black Sabbath fan. The last couple of albums, been okay. Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, Tony Iommi, Chad Smith, Zakk Wylde. I mean, right? Fantastic. Okay, the indie exclusive. This is how they packaged it. A lot of people pre-ordered this. Normally, I wouldn't ship these because they appear to be damaged. They essentially developed this throwaway cover for this record. And the way it's essentially this big puffy box that is meant to probably be torn here, right? And once you tear it, it's meant to be like an outer protective box, but it's printed, so it kind of has the appearance that it's part of the album. But this is the indie exclusive, which has the vinyl and a comic book inside. So there is zero way that they ever were going to manufacture this type of packaging and not have these little, impressions and dents in them. It's just the nature of this packaging. So when you get this, don't freak out. There's zero chance of getting a crisp, clean, because look how big it is, and all that's in there really is this record. The rest is empty space. So yeah, it's going to come with these little minor imperfections. Normally I'm a stickler about sending stuff out, but that's just, if you want the indie exclusive, they're going to come like this. There's going to be no other way. It's just not going to be possible to get this in any other way, just by the nature of the design of this. Personally, I'm going to grab one of these. You're going to tear that. It's going to be hard to sit on the shelf. I'm just not nuts about it. But if you want the comic book, this is kind of the way you got to get it. I think it's a McFarlane comic in there. Yeah, let's see. Includes the new album, double LP, and then the Todd McFarlane comic. I think it might be on purple vinyl as well. Okay, last week from my top 100 imprint analog records you should own list. I added it last week. Man, I keep talking about this record. I play it in the store nonstop. Every time I put it in the, well, every time I put it on, it sells multiple copies. But that's not the reason why. It sounds fantastic. Disc 1 is all analog, cut by Kevin Gray. Disc 2 is not. They're numbered from the Run Out Groove. It includes a turntable mat and a big poster. I mean, this is, for the money, just fantastic. Musically, sound-wise, packaging, what you're getting, that's a no-brainer. The Run Out Groove stuff, it's on the list now, but the Run Out Groove stuff doesn't typically last forever. They're numbered. I don't know what they're numbered to. There's about 2 or 3 Run Out Groove titles you can get because everything else is sold out. They're normally one-and-done type items, but it seems like on some of these they're making more than they used to. You know, a couple years ago, there'd be 1,300, 1,400, 1,500. They were a real small quantity. Moby, 18. Doing a pretty much a whole reissue campaign on his catalog. This and Play are the only 2 so far that have not been numbered. That's a killer record. Got a restock on that Mankunku Quartet. I'm probably horribly wrong, but it's a fantastic record. I keep talking about that. Sub 41, music on vinyl. This is Half Hour of Power. This is a standard version, no colored vinyl. These new music on vinyl stickers are somewhat harder to read. Built to Spill. When the Wind Forgets Your Name. On Sub Pop. This looks cool. Well, yeah. Jazz and the Beatles. The coolest and sexiest complete songbook of the Beatles. So it is the Cool Train Quartet, Deborah Dixon, you know, a bunch of 48th Street Collective, a bunch of modern jazz artists doing Beatles covers. Double disc set. Looks pretty cool. Could be a good listen. Daft Punk, Alive, 2007. We're starting to see a lot of Daft Punk come in the store. Random Access Memories has gotten restocked. I think there's even a few more on this week's new arrival, but one of the weirdest things I've ever seen owning a record store is when they announced the breakup, people were flooding in here buying Daft Punk records. Random Access Memories was selling for like $300 to $500 online. Nobody died. Nobody said they were going to stop making records ever again. They just said, we're going to break up. And people went bananas. That's crazy. All right. Tom Waits, One from the Heart. Tom Waits and Crystal Gale. This is 40th anniversary edition. 2,500 numbered copies on translucent pink vinyl. This is number 2037. It's got this linen cover, really nice material. Okay, so not sure what the deal is with this, but they keep calling me at the distributor and saying, you know, hey, we got more Art Pepper Meets the Rhythm section from Record Store Day. All analog, cut by Bernie Grunman, tip-on jacket, sounds unbelievably good. It was an indie store exclusive. This thing was going for over $100 around Record Store Day. But would you like any? I said, yes, send me a whole bunch. So here they are. I just can't speak, you know, if you're a jazz guy, you know what this is all about, but this is a record to own. This is the dedicated mono mix. The stereo has been postponed, so that's not coming out till late this year or maybe even the beginning of next year. It was supposed to be coming out somewhat soon, but no. Art Pepper Meets the Rhythm section. His best album. One of the greatest albums on Contemporary. Out there with Sonny Rollins' Way Out West. But yeah, regular retail, you know, $29.99. This is a restock. Every time I show it, though, people are like loving it. It's just the Yardbirds, Heart Full of Soul, the best of the Yardbirds. So I figured I'd re-show it. This is an album that came out a couple of months ago, but was super limited when it came out. This is the 25th anniversary edition of Jamiroquai's Traveling Without Moving. Great record. It's got Virtual Insanity on it. Jamiroquai, very hard to get in the States. You know, he's definitely more of a European act, but yeah, people look for this all the time. Translucent, what is this? No, on colored, yellow colored vinyl. The Bee Gees, Spicks and Specks. Never seen that cover before. But yeah, this actually, I love the Bee Gees. I love the disco Bee Gees, and I love the early pop, quasi-rock Bee Gees. We'll go with pop, though. We're a pop band. This is great. I think this is one of the greatest songs of the 60s. Just don't laugh, but the Archies, Sugar, Sugar. I mean, it's just great. That's like the most iconic, like, you know, when it plays, you know when it's from. But yeah, this is the Archies theme. Bunch of Archies related stuff, but has Sugar, Sugar on it. Great tune. This is on pink, black, white, and splatter vinyl. Van Morrison, Moondance. This is a restock. This is a restock cut by Kevin Gray. Sounds great. Some people asked me if I was going to get a restock on this. Nirvana's Insecticide. This sold out in like seconds a couple weeks ago. This I never thought was coming back because Jethro Tull said on their website they were only making 2,500 of these. So this I got a couple of months ago, sold out immediately. This is the 50th anniversary edition of Thick as a Brick with the newspaper sleeve. So if they did 2,500 of them, this is probably the tail end of it. This is the remix by Steve Wilson. Another popular restock. Haven't seen it in a few years. Fleetwood Mac's The Dance. Another restock. Miles Davis, Decoy. Got some new records still stuffed in here. This is from Get On Down. Japanese Obi on it. They're doing a lot of the Miles stuff. They're doing Decoy. Miles, the Man with the Horn, which I've already got, and We Want Miles. So, yeah. I think the other two are in stock still. Record Store Day exclusive title. This is Criminal Minded, Boogie Down Productions. This is a Record Store Day essential title, which is essentially a Record Store Day title. They are doing these essentials, breaking them out throughout the year. So exclusive only to independent record stores. All right. Danzig, Skeletons. We've got two different versions. One's super limited. What is this? Limited to 750. Pressed on purple and white swirl vinyl with black splatter. That's to 750. And to 1700 is purple and electric blue vinyl. So another Moby title. This is Hotel. Oh, this is numbered. Yeah, I wonder why 18 and Play weren't numbered. I'm not a huge Moby fan, so maybe I'm going to assume those. I know Play is probably his biggest album. Maybe 18 is up there. They did 5,500 of these. Well, you're not going to be able to rickroll your friends without this. So, I mean, this is like a no-brainer, right? The Best of Rick Astley. Weird. They put that. You would think that would have started off the album, but no, it's Every One of Us. But yeah, that's a new title. This is actually a new pressing of The Doors' LA Woman using the original mix. But the coolest part about this is they've actually replicated the original translucent sleeve, picture window, rounded corners. Yeah. Okay, so I got a big restock from Analogue Productions. Show what I got. Stokowski, this is Rhapsodies. This is the 2-disc version, 45 RPM. Julian Bream, Guitar Concertos. RCA Living Stereo. I love the RCA Living Stereos that they did. They all are fantastic. This is the 33 RPM Bill Evans Live at Montreux. I think I got the 45 still in stock. Shostakovich Cello Sonata. This is one of the more expensive RCA Living Stereos if you find an original. I want to say this was on the Dynagroove vinyl too, and they still go for huge money. Was that an original Dynagroove? Maybe not, because it's not labeled there. There's one Dynagroove title that goes for some good money in the RCA Living Stereo line. That's probably not it. The wonderful sounds of male vocals. They do the wonderful sounds of female vocals and Christmas. 3 in the series so far. They're all absolutely fantastic. A good sampling of everything that Analogue Productions has in their catalog. Male vocal oriented. It's a demo record. Highly recommend. Wilson, the speaker manufacturer, had a line of records. He was a sound engineer for quite some time. This is Center Stage. But David recorded some absolutely fantastic records. Definitely good audiophile demo records. Another fantastic RCA Living Stereo title, Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue. Good record for people trying to get into classical. Self-titled by Amos Lee. One of my favorite titles that Analogue Productions ever has done. I mean, it's just a killer album. Dusty Springfield, Dusty in Memphis. I mean, this is going to blow you away. If you haven't heard this, yeah, get to it. Unbelievable. Shelby Lynn, Just a Little Oven. Got a restock of Stevie Ray Vaughan and the Double Trouble. Texas Flood. This is the 45 RPM version. Got a restock of Holly Cole's Temptation. Restock of Milstein's Masterpieces. One of the very, very few Capitol Records classical titles that isn't worthless. So if you ever find an original of this, it's worth at least a couple of hundy. But almost everything you'll ever find on classical, classical related, on Capitol, no good. Dr. John, Gumbo, 33 RPM, Analogue Productions. We've got some more Stevie Ray Vaughan, The Sky is Crying. This is the 33. Another fantastic audiophile demo record. Stravinsky's The Rite of Spring. This record, ooh, not as, doesn't have the hits that obviously 24 Karat Hits has on it, but this is a better sounding record. Elvis is Back. Great record. Unbelievable sounding. If you're an Elvis fan, I recommend this. If you're not, what's wrong with you? All right, guys, that is it for this week's new arrival. So I started doing the channel memberships here recently. That's kind of working out. It's nothing more than if you're a member, you're going to get some early access to some videos. And there's some more like communications. There's posts, blog posts type of things that you'll have access to. This video will be previewed a couple of hours earlier than normal with channel memberships. But there's also other videos that I posted. They'll eventually be made available to everybody, but I've got another shootout video that's available only to channel members for now. That'll change. I got a new concept video something new, totally different that I'm trying to do. So if you're a channel member, you've already seen those. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But yeah, it's cheap. It's like $1 or $2 a month, but it's kind of something cool, something new I'm doing. But again, everything except for obviously the blog posts and the communications. Heads up, it's like, I told everybody I'm going to put this on the top 100 imprint analog records list 4 or 5 days ago. So just stuff like that. Polls, what do you want me to do, shootout wise, that kind of thing. But yeah, there's another shootout up there. All right, guys, check out the membership if you want, Until next time.